Hi there YouTube, and welcome to another edition of Lahar and Pestis Tasty Thursday. And spread out before you see the ingredients for brownies. So, I'm going to go over the ingredients that I'm going to use and the supplies that I'm going to use. First, we have a scale. And this scale is used to weigh out the 5 ounces of chocolate. And there is 2 teaspoons of vanilla flavoring, 1 3/4 cups of sugar, 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 2/3 cup of butter. Half of a cup of that is unsalted, and then the last like 1/6 of a cup is salted. We have 3 eggs. I have got a double boiler set up with a regular pan that's got 2 to 3 inches of water in it, and a bowl. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to melt the butter and the chocolate together in that bowl. And then here I have a mixing bowl for the rest of the ingredients to put together. And then finally, you will need an 8x8 square pan. I'm going to put butter on the inside of it so that there won't be any sticking, and dust it with a little bit of flour. Get the camera set up and I'll get started on making everything. We'll be back in just a minute. And I also have the oven preheated to 350 degrees. Alright, so in this mixing bowl I have got the 2 teaspoons of vanilla, the 1 3/4 cups of sugar, and 3 eggs put in together, and I'm going to begin beating them mercilessly. In the double boiler I have got the chocolate put in along with the butter, and the burner is turned on underneath it so that it can start to boil. That in turn will heat up the pan, which will melt the chocolate and the butter together. It is critical that you have some sort of vent for the steam to come out of so that you don't get pressure built up underneath your pan. That can cause lots of dangerous bad mojos to happen to you if you don't do that. We'll be back in just a minute.
Hi, so the audio for this part is terrible on the video, so I am going to record over it. What I'm doing here is I began with a slow speed mixing to incorporate the ingredients together to keep them from being flung all over the kitchen. It makes a big mess and it's hard to clean up. Once we're done with the slow incorporation, we can then pick up the speed of the beating and make it more rapid, because this needs to take place at a very high speed, the second part after incorporating the 2 ingredients together. Doing this rapidly incorporates the air that we need to inside of the egg and sugar mixture, providing the foam, so to speak, the additional volume, and the texture and the consistency that we want. This part is crucial to getting the appropriate texture and flavor in your brownies. Now, what is happening to the eggs and to the sugar is that the eggs are being separated. The proteins and the fats are being separated, and the triglycerides are forming these little cells inside of there, and they're incorporating the air that's being added to the mixture through the beating, and that is what is increasing the volume. And it is important that we keep this additional volume and the air incorporation in there, because what we're wanting is this to be a luxurious, foamy, smooth, rich mixture when we combine it with the chocolate. We don't want this to be flat and dull and listless, because that's what makes your brownies flat and dull and listless. We want brownies to rise, and we want them to stay fluffy, and we want them to stay rich.
And now look at that. And that's the eggs and the sugar. And you want it to be a nice, even texture and consistency. I'm going to go put it in the fridge, and we'll get back to you when the next step is ready. Look at this food porn going on here. Look at it. Just take a nice look at it. And I forgot to mention when I was giving you the ingredients that this chocolate is unsweetened chocolate. That's critical. It needs to be unsweetened chocolate. But yeah, look at all of that. Chocolate is melting along. Nice. Ooh, let me get away from the steam. That chocolate is coming along nicely. Butter's almost melted. Yeah. Now, I'm going to need to get a thermometer out here shortly.
We seem to have had several problems with the audio in this video, and I am going to be re-recording over this section here again. One of the problems that people run into when making products with chocolate is they don't understand that there is a maximum temperature for melting or using of chocolate. You don't want to go above it. And that temperature is 150 degrees Fahrenheit. There are resources that will give you any temperature from about 140 to 160, 170 degrees. For me personally, I don't like to go above 150 degrees. You'll notice in this audio or video clip, excuse me, that I flirt with 150 degrees quite vigorously, in some cases going over it. However, this is not intentional, and you usually want to keep your temperature below 150 degrees. I don't think that the small travel over the 150 degrees that I went impacted the brownies at all, but just in case.
Alright, and there is the temperature of the chocolate. It's still going up slowly now, but we don't want it to get too much warmer than this. So here in a minute, I'm going to pull it off of the burner and let the residual heat in the water continue heating it up. So I'm going to turn this off now, and I'm going to slide this off of the burner as soon as I scrape the chocolate off, because we can't waste any chocolate, not even for a thermometer.
That's right.
And I'm going to slide this off of the burner. And now we're just going to let the chocolate continue to melt off of the burner. I'm going to need to let the chocolate cool down after it is finished melting all the way down. Because if I take these two mixtures, the egg and sugar mixture and the chocolate mixture at the temperatures that they're at right now, the egg is going to cook and it's going to ruin the brownies. So I need for this chocolate to be at about 120 degrees. I sometimes let it go as far down as 110, but you don't want it any cooler than that, because then the chocolate will start to recrystallize, and recrystallization will make your brownies crunchy. So let this finish cooling down, and now I'm going to start monitoring the temperature. We have already started cooling down. That thermometer is not going up anywhere nearly as fast as it was. In fact, it's going back down now. So we have peaked the temperature of the chocolate, so I know that I have not decomposed any of the chocolate, and that still allows all of the chocolate to get melted and marry with the butter. You don't want to know what those two flavor molecules are doing in there to each other. It's naughty. Now, while this process is going on, another critical step that you need to do is you need to keep the sides scraped, because the bowl that it's in might be warm enough to scorch the chocolate, and scorched chocolate does not taste very good, and that flavor will come through in your brownies. Alright, I have taken the bowl off of the heat because the heat started to climb again after it finished melting, and now we're down to about 133 degrees, and get back to you when it's closer to 120.
So shiny. It's deceiving though, because it tastes bitter. So deceiving.
It is definitely not sweet yet. Okay, so we let it go a little bit too long. We're down to about 111 degrees, which will definitely keep the egg from being cooked. So now, Lahar, if you would hold the camera so that everybody can see. We are now going to combine the magical, mystical ingredients into one. So here is our fluffy sugar egg mixture. Look at the texture and consistency there.
That is gorgeous.
So now I'm going to stir carefully the two together.
There we go.
Let me see if I can do this left-handed for you guys. And add a little bit more. Thank you. I'm not as good at this left-handed as I am right-handed.
I can switch sides if you like.
No, it's okay. So, now I'm going to use the scraper to scrape as much down as I can. Now, usually my OCD kicks in right now, and I have to try to get this bowl scraped clean. But for you guys, This is the one time that that's going to be good enough. And now I'm going to finish mixing the two of them together, combining them. Alright, that is good enough because now I need to start the mixing again. Alright, going to scrape the spatula down a little bit. And now I'm going to start again on low and combine just a little bit. Now I want to add about half of the flour. Don't overdo your addition. Okay, give the bowl a quick scrape. Scrape the spatula off on the beaters. And one last quick little medium speed mixing. Do not overmix at this point. And I think that that is enough for everything. I see no ingredients in the bowl that are separate. Okay, so there is the buttered and now lightly dusted with bread flour pan. The reason I'm using bread flour is because it is a smaller flour, more fine, and won't interfere with the other ingredients as much as using all-purpose flour would. It also doesn't have any leaveners in it, so there won't be any chemical reactions. Knock the excess out, and there we have our pan. And I'll clean that up later. Alright, now we take our brownie mixture, move the hand mixer, and we pour it into the pan.
Just something so satisfying about saying that.
These are going to be some rich brownies. I love the thickness of that.
I am going to be just fine with that.
Alright.
These taste amazing.
And now, I have to get the bowl in your way so I can scrape the rest of it out. Sorry.
You don't want to
Now,
brownies.
I'm going to set my timer for 28 minutes to start with, and then I'm going to check on them, and we'll see you in 28 minutes. Welcome back to our final product. Now I want to show you a few things here before we stab it again so that you can see. If you'll notice on the edges here that the brownies are starting to pull away just slightly from this edge, that is how you know that the edges are done. You don't want them to get overdone because then the brownie gets really hard and chewy on the side. To prove this to you, I'm going to stab it here. And you can see that it just goes in with hardly any effort. And now I'm going to do the same thing to the middle. They're virtually the same. And there is just a little bit on there. And the residual heat from it being pulled out is going to finish cooking it, and you won't have an overdone brownie. Thank you for spending another Tasty Thursday with us. We really appreciate everything that you guys do. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more food porn. And the brownies are the done.
If not, I'm still eating them.
Enjoy.